All right, we got DJ's 2019 BMW 330i here today. Also, I'm recording on my phone for the first time ever because I forgot my GoPros at my house. I don't want to drive there to get them, so hopefully this turns out all right. But today we're going to do a couple of jobs on this thing. We're going to start in this video. We're going to do both a motor mount, the driver's side and the passenger side. They're a really known issue on these. They're hydraulic and they like to blow out. Right now, if you put it into reverse, you can just feel the whole car shake. And that is a good indicator that at least one motor mount is bad, and we're just going to go ahead and swap both of them. So we're going to get it up in the air, and then we are going to get both of the front tires off because we're going to have to go through these wheel wells. So I'm going to get it up, pull these tires, and I'll pick up from there. All right, here we are. The wheel is off, so now we need to get this wheel liner out of each side. I'm going to show you on the driver's side here, but the passenger side is going to be the same thing, just inverse. So you got a gajillion 10 millimeters. You'll see he's got one missing there. There's one missing on both sides. Luckily, I got some I can replace that. But we got one here, one here, one here, two up at the top, another one here, 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 here. Just go around finding all the 10 mils. There's going to be some on the bottom side down there. Just get everything out of these wheel liners so we can pull that off. Now, the tricky ones are going to be these three here on the side. You'll need a small pick tool if you've never done this style before, and just press the centers out of them, and then they'll come right on out. And you'll have to fish those middles out from behind it whenever you get it removed to put them back in. Come on. All right, here we are. Wheel liners off. There is a gajillion 10 mils to do that, and it comes out in three pieces. So the front section will come out, then the middle little section that only has like 3 screws comes out, and then the back section comes out. There's a bunch up underneath the bottom too. I think there's 4. But now you can see all that was to get access right in here. There is our motor mount back there, and we need to get that upper E16 out when the time comes. Look, you can even see all the hydraulic fluid running down right there on the subframe. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my light in here and hold my phone correctly. This is way harder to do with a phone than a GoPro. But at this point, we're going to take the car up in the air now all the way so we can get underneath and pull the bottom shields off. And then once those are off, I'll show you how to go from there. All right, here we are underneath the car. So these are all just like the wheel liners. They're just the same 10 millimeters. So we're gonna go down and zip all of them off and get this cover and this cover off. And then we should be ready to start taking off the motor mounts and getting everything supported. All right, here we are. The covers are off. And I just wanted to show you, look at this driver's side mount. Holy guacamole, that thing is leaking. Look, you can hear it. It doesn't have any fluid left in it. Like this side, watch. See how it kind of pushes back? This one's just empty air. Just nothing. You can hear it squishing. Leaked all over all of this. That's wild. Also, BMW, what is the deal with this like cardboardy material wrapped all the way around the engine? I feel like this is literally just to soak up fluids so people don't know they're leaking before the warranty expires. Oh, yeah. But here we are. We are finally ready to go. So on both sides, because we're doing both of them, which no matter what, you're going to need to raise the engine up to get the mounts out. So you're going to have to take both sides loose anyway. So we're going to pull these 3 E12s on each side. Sorry, phone camera. These 3 E12s on each side. So we're going to get those E12s out, and then we're going to lower the car down, and we're going to put an engine support fixture across the top, which if you don't have one of those, I'll have a link up here in the video and in the description below, as well as links to the motor mounts that we're going to use to replace these. But yeah, the engine support fixture is pretty important, and you'll use it a lot on this car if you're going to do your own work, so I do suggest having one. But we're going to support it that way after we take these bolts out of the bottom. Gravity will hold the mounts in. So once we start to raise it though, and once we take the mounts loose at the top, we want it to be sturdy, and then we'll raise it up a little bit with the support fixture and then use a jack to get the rest of the space we need. So I'm going to zip those bolts out and then lower it down. I'll show you how to put the fixture on. All right, here we are. The engine support fixture is on. So we just put a little chain right through the lifting point up at the front and put some tension on it there. And it's just spanning the strut towers. These little plastics, you just turn this knob right here and then it'll lift right off. So you can get that out of the way and just span the strut tower. So you got some nice support. And now we are ready to take it up and get those E-Torxes out that go up through the wheel wells. Stupid Sammy and her BMW. All right, so here we are. This bolt is now out. It's an E14 and it was tight. So I ended up getting a 6-inch extension with a slight swivel on the end of it, the impact swivel, and we went right here against the subframe and right up there just to get it that little bit of angle it needed to slip on there. Then I stuck my long ratchet here up from the bottom right here and broke it loose, and then shot it off with my ratchet. Now, typically when you do a motor mount, what you do is you take both sides loose and then you raise the engine so the motor mount can slip on out and you can slip the new one in. But I'm gonna go look at the other side right now, because on this side we can easily access the 4 bolts holding that bracket on. So we can just pull that bracket off, take it off, pull the motor mount out, put the new one in, and then put the bracket back in on top. And that might be the easiest way. So let me go check the other side. We'll see how that one looks. All right, this side is a little trickier to get to the upper bracket. So we are gonna go right in through this hole here to get to the bolt back there, hopefully. We'll take that out, and then we're back to plan A, putting our lift jack on the bell housing and just lifting it up with a block of wood to try and get enough clearance to flip these out. So let me get that bolt out. I'll show you what the socket looks like when I get it in place and where I decide is the best. Okay, so what I ended up doing is I took the 10 millimeter out of the suspension like position lever thingy here. It goes right there in the side. So you can take that out and just swing this to the side. And now you'll see my socket is in place. It's going right back where it needs to go, and I can get my long handled ratchet in here. So we're gonna put that on, break that loose, and shoot it on out of there. And then we're ready to start trying to push this thing up. All right, that bolt was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Unfortunately, like I said, the upper bracket bolts are like almost impossible to get to without taking a bunch of other stuff off. So we're gonna raise it up just a smidgen more. Our engine support fixture is holding everything right now, so it can't drop. I don't know if it can even drop far enough to have any issues. I'll know once I get the motor mounts out. I just have that there's a safety feature. But now we're gonna put a jack stand under with a block of wood and crank up on the bell housing to try and buy ourselves some space to get those mounts out. All right, here we are with the bell housing jacked up pretty much as far as we can take it. So if you look in here, then you should have the clearance now for this guy, and we can just tilt it. Make sure you reference what side this little rubber tab is on. It is on the inside facing the engine. So we should be able to work this mount out now. However, we're gonna have to do that. So a little rotating, a little twisting, a little get her out of there. Ow, just like that. See, so we pushed it out. Oh, well, it's super close. There it went. Okay, so now I can lay down sideways-ish and slip out the backside here, or even the center. Let's try right there. Okay, cool beans. Now, something else I want to note is make sure you pull your wheel liner off and take a look at the style of motor mount that you have, because I ordered these motor mounts online to save a significant amount of money, and they sent me ones with studs, meaning there's 2 types. These ones with the bolts that pass through are obviously less common because there's only a couple of them they offer. They offer a ton with studs and nuts on top. So you'll just need to take a peek and see which kind you need. And so I ended up going to the dealer, and these are BMW specific, which means they're probably only going to last another 40, 50,000 miles before they're blown out again, unfortunately. But I'm just going to wedge this back in there the same way we took it out and plop it back in. And then we're going to do the same thing on the driver's side. All right, here we go. So you'll look back here. You can see that I lowered it down. Getting this side in was quite the booger, man. I had to get both my hands on top of it and kind of press it down to slide in. This side, which I've already started the bolt on, I don't know if you can see it up there yet. This one's a lot easier. You can go from the engine side and just kind of scoop it into the hole and drop it in the slot when the bell housing's all the way up. But this side was a much tighter fit. That side, the bolt hole lined up first. So now I've just lowered it down slightly more, and it looks like that thread hole's lined up perfectly. So we're gonna finger start that bolt. And before I ever started lowering it, I finger started the 3 on the bottom on each one of them. So once I get them all finger started, then we're gonna torque them down. Then I'll drop that jack all the way out. So let me get this one finger started, and then I'll tell you the torque specs. All right, so I actually led you all astray a little bit. So with the bolts all finger started, I ended up lowering the jack all the way because it was still sitting too high to get our socket back into place. So I'm gonna put this in there. So the top bolt, that's the E14, is 100 Newton meters. The ones on the bottom are 38 Newton meters. Also, I forgot to say this earlier, but for an inverted Torx, if you don't have the inverted Torx sockets, you can use a 6-point metric socket to get it. So yeah, if you look down here, these E12s are just a 10 millimeter. You can grab them with a 6-point 10 mil. And then the one up top will probably be a 12, I would guess. But I have the inverted Torxes, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. But yeah, let me get these torqued down. So again, 100 Newton meters on the big bolt on top, 38 Newton meters on the lower ones. I'm going to torque all this down, and then we will wrap it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are all torqued down. Motor mounts are completely installed. So this is your reminder to put your little suspension level sensor thingy back in, which is going to take me 2 hands. Then all you got to do is put your wheel liners back on and your tires back on. You are ready to roll. So hopefully this turns out all right with this phone. Again, sorry about that. It's hard to get it in the spaces like the GoPro is, but if it helped you out, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more.